Hey, what's up guys? It's Ollie from flightcomp, and I'm going to do an unboxing video, which I don't think I've ever done, but what the heck, everyone else is doing it, so I'll give it a shot too. I got a package from Graupner today. I've been looking forward to getting this for a while now, and I'll show you guys what I got. Here it is. Spinners. Check it out. It is my new MZ-32. I've been using the MZ-24 for about 6 months, and it's been okay. It's sort of a weird transition from a JR28X, since the 28X had a whole bunch more features and it was a little easier to use programming wise. But with all the stuff happening with JR, I decided maybe it'd be better to give Graupner a shot. So I got the 24 Pro to sort of just get used to the programming in anticipation of getting this radio. So it's here today, finally. Let's get this bad boy out, or maybe you want to see the box first. There's the front, side, the back with a bunch of, I don't know, all the details and specs, and the top. So here we go. Alright. Looks like the exact same case as the 24 Pro. Same size and everything. It's got 32 artwork on it. Crack this sucker open. Maybe turn it around like this. Here we go. These cases are pretty nice. Definitely handy. It's nice that they give you a case with such, expensive radios. 12 channel receiver. Don't really use these. I use the 8 channels, but maybe I can put this in my scale glider and take the JR gear out of it. I wish these radios used to come with a couple receivers. I sort of wish this came with an 8 channel too, but that's okay. Updating, some cables for updating the radio probably. A warranty card. Okay, what else do we have? This is some sort of transmitter stand. I've seen this in another video. I guess it's neat if you're working on your bench or whatever. But at the field, I always keep my radio in the case, so maybe this will be helpful on the bench. This looks like the charge cable, a USB cable. Looks pretty high quality, so it's nice they included this. Neck strap. Looks like a nice neck strap. So that's good. I use a neck strap with my 28X because it's really heavy. I don't use a neck strap for my 24. If I don't have to use a neck strap, I don't like using them. The 24 is really light, so anyway, we'll feel how heavy this radio is. This might come in handy. Piece of foam. And here we go. Here's the radio. There's something else in here. Okay, there's some manuals. I had the original MZ-24 when that came out. I tried it for like a month, and the programming wasn't really good enough for me, so I didn't stick with it. The manual with that radio was terrible. The manual with my 24 Pro was not very good either. And this manual looks very small. I have a feeling this manual probably won't be that great for any in-depth programming. Probably just covers the very basic features of the radio. Every Graupner radio I've seen in North America has come with a pretty poor manual, paper manual, but there are other resources available online, and the nice thing about Graupner is they do supplements to these manuals. Like there's a big supplement for the 24 Pro, I think, and that's really helpful. So you could download and print it out. This radio, the 32, is very new, so maybe they don't have that yet. But hopefully there'll be some stuff online available for more in-depth programming. So what's this? This is some kind of help thing, maybe troubleshooting. Okay. Let's get to the radio. Get this case away. All right. Feels heavier than the 24. Doesn't feel too heavy though. Some of the cases are all open on the back. Let's see if I can close these up. This is the patch antenna, which is really neat. This is one of the reasons I got this radio. This just looked really interesting and less prone to breaking. So that's cool. Okay, I'm gonna maybe change the camera position and get my hands on this radio a little more, and I might also compare it to my 24 since I have that here as well. Okay, let's get a feel for this radio. The gimbals feel okay. They're not the best gimbals I felt by far. I have my 24 here. Hard to say. Hard to say if they feel better or not, actually. They feel a little tight, so I might just have to adjust the tensions on the springs to suit my tastes. Okay, let's see, what else? The weight is pretty good. It's not the lightest radio, but it's not super heavy. Switches and everything feel good. Okay, this is one thing I was really interested in seeing. The slider here. It feels pretty good. On my 24, I had sort of a hard time reaching this. So on my F5J models for motor startup, sometimes I would fumble for this. But this feels like it's easier to get to, like there's more of a detent here. You can see on the case. And this one, as you see on the 24, it's like a square edge, and the slider, the end of the slider doesn't really stick out at all, so it's really hard to get your finger under there. This one sticks out a lot further, and it's got a nice dent here where you can put your finger in, so this is much better. That's a great improvement. Okay. Alright, something else that I really like is that the spacing on the switches, this spacing here is much wider. So you can get your fingers in here really easily. Get to all the switches. On the 24, the spacing is much narrower. See, I don't know if you can see this in my finger here. There's no play here. I'm hitting both switches at the same time. So that's a great improvement. There's more space here to this rotary knob. This distance, I never use this, but in case you do, there's more distance than the 24 Pro. So that's all great. There's a couple of buttons here that you could configure for, I guess, for whatever you want. And you could get your finger up to them. It's kind of a reach though. Maybe if you pinched. I don't know. Still a bit of a reach to get to these. I'm a thumb flyer, so I don't pinch. Yeah, that's great. So I really like the switch spacing. That's a huge improvement over the 24. The sliders are a huge improvement. The sliders feel good. These buttons feel good. They're probably the same exact units off the 24. They feel the same. And obviously, you can see the screen is way bigger, so that's great. I'm not going to turn the radio on. I think I have to charge it first. I'll do some more videos later with the programming. This is just a feel for the radio, how it feels in my hands. It's got a soft touch power button. That's nice. And I think this lights up around the button, so that's great. One thing I did not like about the 24 Pro was that when you hooked it up to the wall charger, you got no indication of whether it was charging or not, or whether it was done charging. You just plugged it in and hoped it would charge. And I think that's different with this radio. I think when you plug it in, you get some lights here telling you if it's charging or if it's done or if it's full or whatever, so that's nice. Okay, and obviously we have the old style antenna here, and we have this, I think this is a dual patch antenna. I think this thing has two separate RF transmitters, which is cool. So maybe there's a signal improvement with the MZ-32. Or stronger, more robust signal, we'll see. So the gimbals feel okay. They definitely have not blown my mind. My 28X gimbals are way better, but I don't really think any radio available right now has better gimbals than the 28X, so I might be spoiled. I'll adjust these and see how it goes. Let's see what's on the back. Okay, let's see. Sort of the same layout. We have the big battery door here, same hatch here, and what do we have here? Something. We got a USB. I guess this is the charge port. Oh yeah, this is the charge port here. And I don't know what this is. Doesn't seem to do anything. So you have a look at the battery. 9,000 milliamp LiPo 1S. Yeah, 1S. I don't think it's plugged in. I think I have to plug it in. My 24 Pro is pretty old. I actually got it off a friend. I traded him a FR Sky 10X or X10S radio for it, so the battery doesn't really last that long. I have to charge it pretty often. But I would imagine this 9,000 milliamp battery will last a long time. Cool. Okay, I just found something interesting. The radio has two inputs for the battery. So maybe that's helping it out with some kind of redundancy system, or to power the both the RF outputs, both transmitters. So yeah, I just plugged those leads in, and I'm going to put the battery back in and see if I can get this radio charging. All right, we have a light. So I assume that's telling me that the radio is charging. That's great. Speaker here. And I think the speaker for the 24 Pro is this guy here. Oh, interesting. This radio has the same thing, but it has an additional speaker. We'll see when I get it turned on, you know, how it works, but maybe it'll be louder and more audible than the 24 Pro. Okay, I mean, that's a quick look. I don't really know what else to tell you guys. The switches feel great, the sliders feel good. I like the weight. The grips feel good. See if the grips are any different. Grips are very similar to the 24 Pro, so you probably sort of feels the same in your hand. A little different here for getting to the slider, and we have a. It's definitely taller. I don't know if the distance from the switches to the gimbals is bigger. Let's see. No, I think the distance from the gimbals to the switches is about the same on both radios. So yeah, if you like the feel of the 24 Pro, this is going to feel very, very similar. So it's not going to be foreign to you. One thing I'm noticing right away is this back cover, probably for a gimbal adjustment. It feels very loose. Every time I pick up the radio, it feels like it's going to fall out. That's kind of not good. Okay, there was a quick look at the MZ-32, the new radio from Graupner. I'm going to plug this guy into the wall and give it a charge, and then I'll play around with the programming, and then I'll definitely make some more videos once I get used to the programming, and I'll tell you guys what I think of the programming, specifically for sailplanes. If you're thinking about getting the MZ-32 and you want to know, if it's good for scale models, warbirds, jets, or helicopters, I'm definitely not the guy that's going to be able to tell you about that stuff, but I will do some specific videos about sailplane programming for the MZ-32, and we'll see how it compares to the 24. I know that it has more flight modes than the 24, which is really great because I use all 6 that are available with this, and I wish I had a few more. So having more with this will definitely be a step up. I'm very curious to see if the flight modes if you are able to prioritize the flight modes with the MZ-32, because with the MZ-24 you can't prioritize the flight modes, so you really have to know which order you want them in before you even start programming. And if you don't have that order worked out and you start programming, you basically have to start all over again from scratch if you want to change the flight mode priorities. That's one of the biggest gripes I had with this radio. We'll see if they'd addressed it with the MZ-32. And I'm also very curious if the camber menus, the wing mixes, are more user-friendly and laid out a little better in this radio compared to this radio. This radio does all the camber functions you would need, but in my opinion it's not very intuitive the way it's laid out. So we'll see if they have addressed that with the 32. Alright, well there you go guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned. I hope in the coming weeks I'll have a few more videos and we'll get a little more in-depth with the programming on the new Graupner MZ-32. I will see you guys in the next one.